So sugar burning versus fat burning. Why is that one of my core concepts? Because that's what's wrong with most, not just Americans, but any country where the Western diet has found its way into that lifestyle. This Western diet, this modern industrialized way of eating, which is filled with sugar and carbs and toxins and chemicals, is wreaking havoc on the health of our planet, on the health of our bodies, on our emotions, on our ability to fight off viruses. So much of it has to do with sugar burning versus fat burning. Hello, Dr. C.J. Benkert with Pura Vida Wellness. Isn't life friggin' amazing? Don't we just live on the most amazing, beautiful planet in the world? Are you excited about being here? Or are you struggling with your health? Are you struggling with energy? Are you like me, 30s, 40s, 50s, all of a sudden things just start like breaking down and you're looking at your body and you look in the mirror and you're like, you are betraying me, body. This is not what I looked like in my 20s. Things start to break down. We lose our energy. We start to get these injuries and illnesses. And has that happened to you too? Do you feel frustrated? Do you feel like you're just doomed to eventually end up with Alzheimer's or cancer? Maybe someone in your family died of cancer. Are you fearful that you're going to die of cancer too? Or maybe someone in your family has diabetes. Are you afraid that because of that, you're going to get diabetes too? Today, we're continuing our discussion of the 12 core concepts of living your purest, most amazing, most energetic, joyous life. If that sounds interesting to you, keep listening. I've devoted the next 12 weeks to bringing you small, easy to digest chunks, valuable little gold nuggets that if you would just take 10, 15, 20 minutes a day to listen for the next 12 weeks, I promise you that you're going to have more energy, you're going to be sleeping better. But number one, you're going to feel empowered because you're going to have knowledge about the truth that maybe you don't have right now. So I've got 12 core concepts that over a lifetime on this planet, I have put together as the 12 most important things to living your purest, healthiest, most amazing, disease-free life. We started off with pure food, then we went into pure water, and this week we are talking about sugar burning versus fat burning. So I kind of gave away the answer, but what are the two energy systems in the body? There's only two things the body can use for fuel. What two things can the body use for fuel? That's right, sugar or fat. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes diving into sugar, a little bit of a preface about sugar burning versus fat burning, but today I want to focus on sugar, and then tomorrow I want to focus more on fat. So sugar burning versus fat burning. Why is that one of my core concepts? Because that's what's wrong with most, not just Americans, but any country where the Western diet has found its way into that lifestyle. This Western diet, this modern industrialized way of eating, which is filled with sugar and carbs and toxins and chemicals, is wreaking havoc on the health of our planet, on the health of our bodies, on our emotions, on our ability to fight off viruses. So much of it has to do with sugar burning versus fat burning. So most people, in fact, they just recently did a study where they're looking at close to somewhere between 80 and 90% of Americans are insulin resistant. In other words, they have been eating so many sugars and carbs, popsicles and yogurts and pasta and potatoes and yams and oatmeal, all these amazing foods that we're told are healthy, But if you know anything about the glycemic index, which is what that food does to your blood sugar, you know that table sugar only raises your blood sugar up around 60 on the glycemic index. Potatoes, rice, actually raise your blood sugar more than table sugar. Did you know that? Like eating a bowl of oatmeal, like I used to do this, go through Starbucks and get my double pump, triple shot, white mocha, Trenta with a side of, with the oatmeal, with the little nuts and the raisins. I'm like, oh, it's so healthy. I'm eating oatmeal. But when you eat oatmeal, it actually raises your blood sugar as if you had a whole glass of Coke. So sugar and carbs are important. We do need sugar and carbs sometimes, right? Because that's the beautiful balance of life. That's like the dance of life. There's good and there's bad. There's joy and there's trauma. There's loss and there's gain. And we have this beautiful, dance of life. The ebb and flow, the cycle of life, the cycle of the planets, the cycle of the sun. Our bodies have circadian rhythms. It's all about this flow. You're never just going to be happy and joyous and woo, way up here all the time. Because if you didn't drop down and we didn't have these ups and downs in life, you wouldn't appreciate the joy and the happiness and the gifts that life has to give you. So the beauty of life is in all of it. The good, the bad, the pain, the loss, the breakups, the marriages, the death, and the life. That's the beauty of life. It's all beautiful. It's all important. But the problem is that most Americans being insulin resistant means that they're eating so many sugars and carbs that they're just constantly releasing insulin, 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 insulin. And as I discussed yesterday, and if you missed it, please go back and listen when I gave a very good in-depth summary of insulin resistance, and I talked about the book Why We Get Sick by Dr. Benjamin Bickman. But insulin has good things about it, right? It's all about growing and breaking down, anabolic and catabolic. You need both. Insulin is an anabolic hormone. It helps your muscles grow. It helps your neurons grow. It helps you think. Insulin is super important for hormone balance. But the problem is that most of you watching have too much insulin, and your beautiful little cells are insulin resistant. The cells are like, forget it already. Would you stop eating all these sugars and carbs? I don't want to grow anymore. I don't want to trigger cancer. I don't want to trigger endothelium thickening of the capillaries, creating high blood pressure, because that's what insulin does when it's out of control. So even though there is a nice ebb and flow, you do want to alternate between sugar burning and fat burning, which I'll go over in detail tomorrow. But most Americans are so stuck in sugar burning, so stuck in fat storage, so stuck in disease, inflammation, and aging, because that's what happens when you have insulin being released constantly, that we want to shut off insulin completely for 6 months, 18 months, 24 months. It takes that long. I've discovered by taking people through my Pura Vida transformation system, which is all about sugar burning versus fat burning. It takes somebody 6 months, 12, 18, 24 months of really training and teaching your body, which it knows how to do, but it's lost its way because babies are born in ketosis. Did you know that? You were born in a fat burning state. You're born onto this planet and sticking food in your mouth every 2 hours. Here's a popsicle. Here's an ice cream. Here's a bowl of cereal. Did you get your Pop-Tart before you went to school? Sugar, 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 toxin, toxin, toxins. And we wonder why we have type 2 diabetes in children. We wonder why we have fatty livers in children. We wonder why 2 out of 3 children have chronic illnesses. We wonder why 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 3 persons on this planet right now will face a cancer diagnosis. It's all preventable. So we need to take the sugar and carbs out of your diet, not permanently, but for a long enough time to heal your cells, teach those beautiful little mitochondria that are in the cells how to use fat for fuel instead of sugar. Fat for fuel instead of sugar. So for those of you listening on my podcast right now, I'm holding up a book by Dr. Joseph Mercola, Fat for Fuel. This is our wellness program, by the way. Fat for Fuel goes into the mitochondrial health, talks about ketones. He goes into great detail how to measure them. So sugar is inflammatory. It robs minerals from your body. It robs B vitamins from your body. When you're eating a lot of sugar, of course you're going to be depressed and tired and anxious. If you're eating a food that's processed, that has been stripped of all of its B vitamins and minerals, which high fructose corn syrup and processed sugar has been, in order to process that food through your body, I don't even call it a food, your body is going to leach minerals and B vitamins in order to be able to process that sugar through your body. So you're going to have deficiencies of vital minerals and B vitamins. Guess what you need for mental health? B vitamins and minerals. So that's sugar burning versus fat burning. Tomorrow I'll go into more detail about fat burning, because we got to get you out of sugar burning. We got to get you out of fat storage. We got to get you off that hamster wheel that's just leading you into poor sleep, hormone problems, erectile dysfunction, diabetes, cancer, heart disease, high blood pressure, autoimmune, and strokes. You don't have to succumb to those diseases. You don't have to be afraid of a friggin' virus. Your body is a miracle. Let me help you and teach you how to turn on the miracle that's already in your body, the innate intelligence that you were born with. And one of the first steps that you can do to turn on that innate intelligence is to get processed sugar, grains, and carbohydrates out of your diet temporarily. Stay tuned tomorrow when I'll talk to you about how to switch over to fat burning, and why we don't want to just be in fat burning all the time either. We want to stick with the beautiful dance of life, the beauty of life in all of its ups and downs. It's building up and it's breaking down. Autophagy and mTOR. Dr. C.J. Benkert with Puda Vida Wellness, helping you, encouraging you, educating you, inspiring you, teaching you to lead your purest life in mind, body, heart, and spirit. Thank you.